best electric cars in each price range. My name is Andrew, and I'm from The Current Review.
My name is Ben, and I'm from Electric Car News.
And my name is Matt, and I'm from Living EVs.
All right, so each of our price ranges, we're going to start from under $10,000. And there's several electric cars that you can get for under $10,000 with battery warranties and everything. So I guess we'll start by saying, what's the best electric car for that price range? Who wants to start?
Well, I think it depends a lot on where you're living and stuff like that, because you can get certain deals on certain cars, like for example in Europe. If there's anyone from Europe listening, the likes of the Renault Zoe and stuff like that, you can get used examples there. But then again, I don't know if that's necessarily the best option even for the European market. I'm a big fan of used Nissan Leaf. It might even have like that much range per se, but it's got like, it's built from the ground up to be an EV, and it's good. Like I know the Zoe is technically too, but I think the Leaf just has that like Japanese build quality, and like I'm a big fan of it. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I've driven the Generation 1 Nissan Leaf, and I was pretty impressed with how it drove and its characteristics. It wasn't exactly as fun to drive as other cars. I mean, the steering is extremely light, but I mean, once again, if you're buying a little city hatchback, you probably don't want
I think
anything.
it's ideal like as a second car or something like that.
Yeah.
You can get some very, very early like BMW i3s for like 10 grand. Get like
I've seen some
2014 example. Yeah,
I was gonna say that as well.
Yeah, and that could that's more compelling because it's it's a higher end car than the Leaf. But then again, the range would be like with degradation and with no range extender. For a fully electric i3, you'd be talking like 50 miles, 40 miles real world, for one that's 6 years old. Because the battery is just shot like to pieces, even with 50,000 miles. You would be looking at around 50, 60 miles per charge. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you are. I actually quite like the e-Golf. I know lots of people are actually not a huge fan of them, but I actually quite like them. And if you find them in the right area, you can get like 30-40K miles one for under $10,000.
It's interesting because I haven't found many under 10K, but I guess there will be some.
I've seen a few, mostly in California though, not like
mostly in California,
North Carolina.
Mostly around here. Yeah, I've seen a few for running at 991, like 9100, something like that, like with just over 30-40K miles on them, which it's quite a lot. But I quite like the technology in it, and it feels exactly like any other Volkswagen I've ever driven. So
yeah,
me personally, probably.
My issue with it is that it's not like built from the ground up to be an EV. It's just a converted, obviously, converted ICE chassis. So I don't know if it's like it's a strange experience to drive, and I don't know. Yeah, and there's no kick in it whatsoever. Even the 0 to 20, 0 to 30 is just very lethargic, I find.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, another car we can also include, it's more of a range extended electric car, but it's the first gen Chevrolet Volt. And I think that I was looking at one, I think it was 8,900 with 70,000 miles. And they're a pretty good option too, because they're sort of built from the ground up. I mean, it's not a skateboard platform, but it's an electric car. And I mean, the range, for everyday driving, you're going to most likely never tap into the gasoline range extender.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've actually never driven a Volt, being based in Ireland, but I've sat in one when I was over in the US, and I mean, it's cool enough. It's quite a lot of room in it as well, so it's decent. Yeah. I've heard good things about it. Like, obviously, you own one. You own a second gen, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So yeah, interesting.
So one other car before we end this conversation under 10,000 is I've seen a flood of these in the market, especially in California. 2017 Fiat 500Es. They were all lease returns, like 7,000-8,000, and they have liquid cooled batteries too, which is very interesting.
They're quite exciting to drive.
They are really.
You feel compact. I mean, you don't feel the most safe around here in it with the big trucks and stuff like that. But personally, I'm quite a big fan of them. I mean, they're pretty good for going to the shops, and you can feel a bit of pull in them as well. I mean, the space is not great, and I would probably
Yeah.
pick the other options before it, but
They do
I
squeal
think
the
it's a pretty
tires.
decent car.
Like you can get the tires to chirp a lot, especially.
And I think when the 500e was new, the original one, you're looking at 84 miles per charge, I think was the EPA range. So with degradation, what range
didn't
were you
get a
getting
full-
when you drove it? Yeah, I'd say
I
probably about
didn't
60
drive it
mile
on
territory.
60, yeah, probably something like that. It had
Yeah.
like
That's
20k
interesting.
miles on it.
That's really
Yeah.
interesting because the one I drove was a 2014 with like about 40,000 miles, and it was getting 101 miles on a single charge. It was getting more than what the EPA said, and it's 6 years old. So
I must check that was the WLTP or the EPA rating that was 84 miles. But yeah, because the
I think
EPA does have a
EPA.
history of underestimating like
Yeah.
non-American cars, like so.
I'm pretty sure the older models were actually getting 87, and towards the end of its lifespan, they brought it down to 84. And I'm not sure what the reasoning behind that was.
Interesting. I think one we should recommend avoiding would be the Focus Electric.
Oh,
Because-
100%.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not a huge
it
fan of it.
probably is the worst range of all the cars. Even the like when I was talking about the European aspect and the Zoe, like the degradation on. I know none of you've experienced it, but like 2014, 2015 Zoes. I mean, the range is just horrific. Like, but even on, I'd say on a Focus Electric, you'd be talking about 30 miles per charge, 40 miles per charge on old examples. Like, because the way it's shaped as well, the aerodynamics in it, it's just it's a no-go, I think.
Agreed.
No, I agree. Yeah, I haven't experienced it Zoe, but they're not the most aerodynamic.
There's one other car as well, the Twizy. I know you were talking about
Oh,
it.
yes.
Oh, that hits a sweet spot for me, but
Again,
not many
You
people
can get
like
them
it.
new. You can
North
get them new
America,
for under
but-
10K.
Yeah. Are they still making them? I
Yeah.
think they discontinued them a few months back. I need to double check that, but
Yeah,
I'm
let me
pretty
I just
check
sure
have
that
they're
one
right
still-
now.
Yeah.
One more car before we move on to the next one.
Is it
What
the
about
IMEF?
I was gonna. Well, we could talk about that one, but I was talking about the new Candy line of.
Oh,
after
Oh,
the-
yes.
That's after the
after the-
federal tax credit. It's
after- they're about
9,000.
Yeah,
So it's-
9,900 or
It starts at
999, yeah.
17.5. Yeah.
yeah,
I
which is quite
mean-
expensive, but with the
When you
federal
look
tax
at
credit,
it-
I don't think I would drive it. I don't think you could catch me driving it. I couldn't.
Yeah, I just couldn't. It looks. I'd say
Yeah.
the build quality. It looks like one of those cars you get on like I don't know what's that like
Alibaba?
Alibi or those
Yeah.
Jack Ma's one, like whatever. I saw a YouTuber, he ordered like a car off that site, and he just got like, it looked like the Candy, the car that came, like it was just I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I
I'm not a
mean,
huge
even
fan
for
of it.
10,000, even if just say you didn't get tax credit and it was $10,000, that's a price you pay. I would not touch that thing. I mean, I'd rather buy a 15 or 16 Leaf over that any
Or an
day.
i3.
Yeah, if
a
you
used
could,
i3.
provided you
Yeah.
could get one for around that price.
You would, I think you would, a 2014 example. Yeah, the only issue with that would be the range, but I still think,
Yeah.
So moving on to
so-
the next price range.
yeah.
So do you want to do
Yeah.
15,000? Pretty good price because that's price a lot of people try to stay under.
15,000.
We
Okay.
go logically, we did 0 to 10, so should we do 10 to 25, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds good.
10 to 25.
I mean,
yeah.
anyways.
10
Yeah.
to 25. Yeah.
If you think that's all right. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So I think we should probably, just to make it like easier for the listener, we should
Yeah.
like coming from the European aspect, should we just include vehicles available in North America going forward, or like should we include European ones too? Like I know in the later stages when we get to like 30K territory, we could talk about the Hyundai, the ID3, but should we
We
just
should talk
I
about the
think-
European
yeah.
ones as well.
Okay,
I think
cool.
they're quite important because I mean half the market is
Yeah,
in Europe as
definitely.
well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I think, well, China's the largest EV market. Then I think
Oh yeah.
if you can do the combined, I think it would probably be Europe, then North America. I'm not sure which is second or third. So
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
interesting, yeah.
But Europe is quite a big one. So
I have a strong
for-
following there as well, so it'd be good to.
Yeah. So 10 to 25, or 10 to 25. What would you guys pick?
Well, interestingly, the ID3 in Germany with all the incentives is 23,000 starting, with every single incentive factored in, and that's with the I think you're looking at 205-mile range for the base one on WLTP.
Yeah,
So
that's not bad. I mean, not all countries have all the tax incentives
oh yeah,
as in
like
Germany.
I think in Ireland it's 33-ish for the
Yeah,
IP3, but around 10K more. But it's
Yeah,
interesting just from that, like what you can get in some places.
I know
yeah,
that Colorado, for instance, you can get up to 12,500 in total tax credits, which is pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive, definitely. Yeah.
yeah, that is pretty impressive. So, what are some of the cars in this price range, used or new, besides the ID3?
So, I think one of my favorite examples is going to be the i3. I think the i3
Yeah.
is probably one of the best electric cars for, I mean, especially under 15,000. My only issue is, I mean, it has everything. It has pretty good performance. It has great handling. And some people don't like the looks. I think it looks very unique, and I kind of like unique looking cars. I don't really like something
Mm.
that is everywhere. Um,
The issue with that though would be because for that price range, you'd be looking at, I'd say, the very latest 2016 example, maybe.
yes,
Or well, if we're going up to 25, you could go 2017, and when they up
2018's even.
2018s for 25K, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they updated them, so in late 17, I believe. So you got a slight increase in range. What would you be talking real world for a 2017 i3 without the range extender? Would you have any
So
like ballpark?
yeah, so I drove a 2018, and that was at Hendrick BMW, a BMW dealer near Charlotte, where I live. And it was a range extender model, but it was getting
Okay,
130 on electric, and that was a 94 amp hour one, so 33 kilowatt hour battery pack. That wasn't
interesting. Yeah,
and I mean 130 is pretty decent
that's not
overall.
too bad. I know a new
that's not too bad.
2020 i3S, you'll get around 190 miles per charge, but that's like you're talking nearly $50,000 new. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's so they're
So, should
definitely
we
not
move on to
combining
the
it with
next
use.
price range? I think
Um,
the next price ranges are quite easy to find other cars with, from like
One
the
more thing, actually,
25.
I think for the sub 25, a good option I usually recommend it would be a Nissan Leaf Plus. So
Oh
if you look at
yes, I forgot about
the
those.
2018 or newer, so you can get a used like 2018 Nissan Leaf Plus for like $18,000, and you're
Yeah.
looking at 226-mile EPA range, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
226-mile WLTP. Yeah.
so on that topic, on cars.com, here's a bunch of examples of electric cars in this price range, and we have like a used Nissan Leaf like this one on Carvana. You have pretty low miles, good price,
I think
and
that's actually, I'm not sure. That seems pretty saucy to me, to be honest. 21 for, because it's not the plus, so it doesn't have the, you're
Yeah,
talking
it's
like,
not. Yeah.
doesn't
yeah,
have the
about
range. Yeah.
150. And then there's a
Then
Kia
the,
Soul, which we forgot about.
Kia Soul EV. Yeah, I've
And
heard a
I,
lot
I,
about these.
yeah, I
I
didn't
would
forget
lean
about it,
against
but I
them.
didn't mention it. Yeah, I didn't mention it on purpose. It just, the
And
new
then
one
there's a
now, the new
Spark
one
EV.
is the range, but yeah,
The
not the
Spark
old.
EV, we didn't mention that one either. That one's under 10,000 in most cases.
Yeah, there's
And I
probably a
think the most
reason.
impressive thing about that is the 400 foot-pounds of torque that makes.
That's not bad. I didn't know that, actually.
And then there's a Bolt, obviously, which
Yeah,
is
I was gonna mention the Bolt. I'm quite into the Bolts, actually. I like the space, but I think the interior quality and what you get
it's
for
absolutely
20K
atrocious.
is atrocious. Yeah.
A lot of it must be quite similar though to your Volt, like a lot of the
Yes.
equipment inside and
And
stuff.
I
They must share a
think
lot
the
in common.
interior on the Volt is, I mean, it's a great car, don't get me wrong. But I mean, because there's a battery tunnel. There's like some electronics protruding from the plastic. I mean, I can show you guys a picture later, but I mean, the plastic inside there's like grab handles, but they're like so flimsy. You could almost like the interior is, they
Yeah,
clearly put more time in the technical aspect of it versus the
Yeah.
one thing
comfort
I'll mention
aspect.
from my brief experience with both the Volt and Bolt is the infotainment system is pretty good in them, I find.
Yeah,
But
I agree with that.
yeah, it's a strong infotainment system, even on earlier examples. But
I think another good option actually that I just remembered were probably the Hyundai Ioniq. Because
Mhm.
if Mats is watching this,
Mm.
he has nothing bad really to say about the Ioniq.
The
Besides the
range
infotainment
isn't.
system
Yeah, the
is not the
range though.
greatest.
I don't know.
Yeah, the range is not the greatest. However,
It's
the efficiency is very decent, and I think it comes with a heat pump. I'm not quite sure,
it does come with a
but
heat pump. Yeah,
yeah,
I do
but
think it's
yeah,
overpriced.
yeah,
I
it's
knew
slightly
it's
overpriced,
overpriced for
but
150
apparently,
miles per charge. Like I don't know.
There
You're looking
was an
yeah,
at
it's
89 there was an $89 a month lease special last year around this time of
yeah.
the
I
preceding
heard a
models,
little bit about that. Yeah,
I
which that
haven't
would
to
have
be
been
honest, but
something
yeah.
cool to take advantage of.
yeah,
Um,
So
moving on to is it? Well, we go next. We go 25 to 40 or
40,
yeah.
yeah, I
25 to
guess
40.
anything
Yeah.
under 40.
okay.
So for this,
There's one obvious one: Standard Range Plus
yeah,
Model 3
Yes.
in
yeah,
the
I think that
US.
goes in there.
But
Yeah,
in Europe now it's touching 50,000, but in the US it's 37. Is it? They changed the
37,000.
price.
37,990.
37,990. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that is a good option there.
yeah,
One
263
alternative.
miles of range as well.
I don't know now exactly how the market's going, but could you find a facelifted Model S for under 40k?
Yes, I've seen them
Yeah, you
before.
can. I have seen a
So we
few
can
on
actually
Yeah.
go right here and I can begin screen sharing. So I'm going to pull it up. And I mean, you can even find them on Tesla's website for under
Yeah.
40,000.
Over here now, you wouldn't find one for under 45, under 50 maybe. You'd be lucky to get one in the 40s, like, but in the US, that's pretty good. In fairness, you can get them under
So yeah,
$40,000.
here we go. I'll get this screen share started.
And the good thing about that is it's FSD hardware. So
Hmm.
Yes, yeah. I think it has hardware 2 or
well, the
hardware 1.
well,
It depends
to
on which
be,
ones you
it was
have.
actually interesting enough because for the first few months, the facelift ones didn't, but anyone made after September 2017 September 2016 has FSD
2016,
hardware. Yeah, SEP
yeah.
16. That's when it
So
was
here's
FSD
a
hardware. So
16. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so
yeah,
this one's 39. This does have an accident reported, so you might want to
you'd probably avoid that to be honest.
avoid
But
that one. But now if I go to the national database, which is if you scroll to the bottom.
Yeah, you'll probably find a lot of them in Southern California because in the resale values of
Oh, wow. Look at that.
yeah,
32,000, 94,000 miles.
a
That's,
bit high on the mileage though. I'm not
but I
sure if
mean,
I would
it
that
has
is
the
good value though. Yeah.
unlimited mileage battery warranty, so, and powertrain too.
Oh, it
And what's the
does, doesn't
story
it?
with
So
the
Yeah.
supercharging on that? Does it do free unlimited supercharging or?
Yeah, let's check on that because wow. I mean,
That
for
would be
that's
great.
a
32,000
good that's a
does
good deal
have an.
actually.
If you're
Ooh, look at
watching
this.
this and you are based in where is it being sold?
It does have an accident reported, so
Oh,
that's
okay,
one thing.
maybe
But I mean, you
scrap
still
that
have the
then.
warranty. I know with
Yeah.
Ford, for example, Ford voids the battery. I think they ban. I forgot what warranty it is, but they ban some electric car warranty if the car's been in an accident,
Okay.
where Tesla does not. But yeah, this is being sold by Tesla.
Yeah, I think it's important to note
32,000.
though, if the car has any sort of salvage or anything in the older Model S's or even pretty much any Model S or X, the car will never supercharge for the rest of its life.
Yeah,
So
but these are sold by
they
Tesla, so.
yeah, so they probably
These are
should. In fact, if any of you've heard of Rich Rebuilds,
Mhm.
he talks
I
he
know
talks a
more.
lot
Yeah.
about he talks a lot about Tesla's
Important to note
mindset
actually
on
on that one, there's a transport fee of $2,000 on top.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's
Well,
towards my location, but if you're in
yeah, exactly.
California,
yeah.
Yeah, if you're based in like,
Yeah,
yeah,
where I am, Oceanside, it's only a few miles a few miles away.
depends
That,
from what
that's
So-
quite a
perspective
good
we're
deal.
looking at it from. Yeah,
so this
but
one
it's
has
Yeah.
important to
higher
note the
miles.
transportation fees on both. Yeah.
Seven.
The
That's not
warranty.
too bad.
So it's a 4-year 50,000 mile warranty, or is that still bad? Because I know they changed it for the infotainment system. They
So
but
They did change
for
it
the
for
general warranty,
yeah.
I think is 4 years,
Says
50,000 miles.
1 year.
yeah, so this is interesting. Now on these cars, you used to get a 4-year 50, or sorry, a 2-year 100, or 2-year up to 100,000 mile on Teslas for sale with over 50,000 miles. Now they're only doing a 1
Used,
year
right.
10,000 mile. That's new. I did not see that. But my point is, you can easily get a facelifted Model S for around in under 40,000. Here's one without an accident,
Yeah. So
47,000.
I have a question for everyone. What if, I mean, theoretically, if everyone's in the market, what would you pick a mid to high mileage Model S over a brand new standard range plus Model 3?
I think that's a difficult one because the Model S is certainly a much more substantial vehicle,
I
much
think,
larger.
yeah, I think as well, like it has the instrument cluster in front of the driver. It's just,
Yeah.
I prefer the interior setup personally. I think it's the larger car, more space. Aesthetically, I prefer it. I think I would be tempted, definitely. Not necessarily a pre-facelift, but a facelifted one I would, because, you know,
But the warranty too.
yeah, that
The
actually,
warranty will
that's
make a
not valid.
huge difference.
I don't think that a used Tesla warranty is valid in Europe for some reason. It's not. It's yeah. I need to check that out, but I'm pretty sure it's not. That's only in North America, US, and Canada, I believe. Not sure about Mexico, but.
So yeah, if we're discussing under 45,000, there's so many to list. There's that are coming pretty soon. There's the ID.4 that's coming to America, the ID.3, which is in Europe, and there's
select Asian markets, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's
got the Honda E.
You've got Honda E.
I mean, you got the Xiaopeng G3, which Matt's reviewed. Apparently, it's meant to be a very decent car. It's got all the technology and stuff like that really puts a lot of pressure on Tesla for some of their software, such as like their mid-range model has all of like the 360 camera. It has the automatic parking, and so I think it could be, it's got automatic liftgate. I mean, everyone's saying Model Y automatic liftgate, but it's really nothing special in the market really, and everyone's talking about. Yeah,
there's a lot of Chinese brands, like I think XPeng have plans to come into Europe. They're in Norway at the moment, and the P7. I mean, there's so much controversy around the copying stuff from Tesla, but I mean, it does look quite compelling, and it will be relatively affordable. There's no plans to go to the US at the moment. It got approved for road testing, but there's no plans to actually sell it there currently. But in Europe, I think that could be compelling.
Yeah, and I also agree with what you said, Matt, on the Teslas. I mean, they kind of lack features in certain areas, and especially like in the Model Y, because I mean, we have like a 2010 Murano here, and that thing has the second row can automatically not fold, but it can also go back up. I don't know the name of it, so I'm trying to explain it. But I know
exactly
in the Model Y, it does not have that. You have to do it manually, and which is kind of surprising in a $50,000 car.
Yeah, I mean, when I had the Model Y for a few days, and I'm gonna have it for pretty much most of the rest of the day, I do find it quite annoying that because I'm not putting lots in the back, but when you do it, I don't want to go around and fold it back up. I don't know how much I don't know how much it would have cost to get those seats to fold back up automatically. Maybe some sort of spring-loaded system to get it go back up. I'm not sure. It would have been a lot nicer, and probably you probably will see it.
I mean, once again, if it's made by Tesla, it might break. So.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, if we're thinking now for the best option, sub 40K, I'd say either used Model S or Model 3. Personally, if we were to vote, I go for a used facelifted 75, but over a standard range plus. But what do you guys think?
I mean, considering that I actually bought a standard range plus over used Model S, because used Model S actually was in the market for it. I just feel like since it was the very first Tesla in my family, I feel like we had a tough decision, like just to go out. I mean, now I think if we had the option, we probably would have gone for the used Model S, but because it was so new, we wanted all the battery, warranty. We wanted the warranty straight from
100%. Yeah, that's understandable too. Yeah, definitely. But the thing as well, now they've that used warranty now, the 1 year 10,000 mile for US, Canada. I need to check out. I'm pretty sure it's not available on used cars in Europe. Used sold through Tesla, but I'll need to Yeah, I need to look into that.
It's a little
What about you,
upsetting to
Andrew?
find that out. Yeah, so I think for this price range, I mean, there's a lot of good options. There's even the Kona Electric and the Nero that we didn't even mention.
Yeah.
And those you can get as low as like 30,000, or I've seen like 26 with the tax credit. And just say you don't need supercharging, then I'd say, yeah, if you can save $10,000, that's a good deal. I mean, it's really tough to say because these cars are all, I mean, the $25,000 to $40,000 price range is
There's so
there's
many
so
options
many
there,
different.
and there's so
I mean,
much
you
stuff.
can get,
Yeah.
yeah,
You have the area coming next year as well, like the Nissan area. There's
Yeah.
loads of other options. Obviously, we mentioned the ID4, and like it's going to be there's the XC40 Recharge now, that's 47,500, so it's just over.
Yes.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
I think although I know the Polestar 2, obviously this one it's 59, but there will be a cheaper version coming in 2021 that will be around 45-ish.
is that
and
with
it'll
the
actually,
FTC?
yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Because I think the 59 isn't with the FTC, but the 45 they kind of indicate it would be. So you're looking around 52. But the thing about it is, it will have the same range as the more expensive version. It's just
Yeah.
that it comes with a more basic spec, smaller alloys and such.
Is it still going to be all-wheel drive, or is it going to be rear-wheel?
They didn't say it, but they just said it would have similar range.
But I mean, even
um,
if it's rear-wheel drive, you're still going to get 0 to 60 in like under 6 seconds, which is really,
I need to
it's still
look
really
into that,
quick.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be rear wheel drive. I need to look into that. Base Polestar 2. Yeah, actually, well, because I don't know why I said it'll be late 2021, because even the first Polestar 2 isn't going to be available in the US until like February-ish. So
Yeah, in fact, I actually went into Polestar the other day, and they actually reckon that they can have my delivery if I was to order one, of course. December 2021, December 2020.
really,
Yeah,
I
like
thought it
I
was. I
actually
thought it
went
was
in.
going to be like January, February for the US. That's interesting,
Yeah,
because
no,
obviously it's happened in Europe, but now all the cars are recalled. So
Yeah.
no,
There's around. Yeah,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. They openly told me that I could actually get my delivery by the end of the year. But obviously, I won't actually do it. But
yes.
hmm
So beyond this kind of 45K territory, I mean, should we just go up to 100K now? Because like I think
Yeah.
anyone's spending beyond this. I think. Okay,
Yeah.
so mine is I'm pretty definite what I go for. I mean, Porsche Taycan 4S is 96,000 after the FTC, so that would be my option for under 100K.
I go for Model S performance.
Yeah, I know,
think it's
but it's
because I've
just
experienced it.
before the yeah, I mean, I have two, but the thing is, like, before the like the Model S, like obviously it got the facelift in 16, got new hardware and such, but fundamentally it's an 8-year-old car. So I don't know. It's a great car. Makes a lot of sense used, especially, but I pick a Taycan 4S over it.
Yeah, so
I've seen a few
since-
4Ss now. But yeah.
And then next year, of course, if you want more room, there'll be the Rivian R1S, 72,500.
Yep, I have. I've actually managed to go and take a look at the Rivian showroom already.
Oh, really? When's it
Yeah.
finishing up there? When's it going?
I'm not sure yet. It's just tinted windows right now.
Okay,
Can't
cool.
really. The sign's not really even up, but they do have like a Google pin on there, so you can go and take a look at it.
Yeah, they've been very secretive and stuff. They haven't been letting, like, I know, like with the Hummer EV and stuff, journalists were given the chance to check it out, whereas Rivian still haven't.
Yeah.
The only thing they did do was the Long Way Up documentary. That was the first time people actually had access to their cars, or even in prototype stage.
Yeah, and even then they were very, very severely limited with like lots of things like that were just unfinished in the car, like the buttons and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then let's go from like 100K to like
Infinite.
infinite.
Well,
yeah.
we could say like Tesla Roadster and stuff, but it's not here. So
Yeah.
I mean, I know we mentioned like stuff like the Plaid Model S, again, it's not here, but it's coming. We know it's coming. Whereas with the Roadster, we don't know when it's coming. It could be 2023 at this stage. So I don't know.
It could be. They're trying to learn a lot from
Lucid Air Dream Edition, maybe.
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think for that price range, I mean, I've never drove a Taycan, and I'd like to. I think
Taycan's good. Yeah,
I'd
good
say
to
a
drive.
Taycan
Engaging.
Turbo S.
Yeah.
Or
I wouldn't. I don't know because you can get a 4S, which is nearly as quick, actually has more range, and it's half the price, or almost half the price. So I wouldn't get a Taycan Turbo S. It's just I couldn't justify it. Like even if I did it the money, I don't know.
I mean, I do
I'd
see
agree.
what
I'd
you're
agree
saying
with you.
because it is,
I'd agree
what
with
is it, 85,000 more. But if you're talking the king of EVs and you have to have the best for any
Mm.
price, could be a Turbo S. But at the
There you
same
go. So,
time,
yeah,
you could almost buy a 4S and a Model S
performance Model
performance
S. Yeah,
for the same
91,000
price.
for. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Or yeah.
interesting.
But then I think another car we didn't mention in the under 100,000 price tag is even it's under 100,000 obviously. I think the Model 3 Performance is one of the best deals for
Oh yeah.
performance.
And then
The,
there's
the
again,
performance.
yeah,
Go ahead.
that's
Go ahead.
good. I was just saying for folks needing SUVs and stuff, there's fantastic deals on the Audi e-tron at the moment.
Yes.
You can
e-tron,
get them
yes.
for
I've been
just
seeing
over
them.
50K.
I've seen
Mm.
lightly used ones in the 40s, and I've never driven an e-tron. I'd like to, just like the Taycan, but that's probably not going to happen. But I'd like to see the quality of the e-tron because I've heard it's much
good, yeah.
Decent.
Yeah.
It's not
decent,
like
yeah.
it's not fun or engaging to drive, but it's a mid-sized SUV, so like what to expect. Like it's quick, like,
Yeah.
and if you want the kind of sporty look, there's the Sportback now as well, which
I
is
think that's
in
a very good
the
looking car.
60s. Like it's in the 60s after the FTC, and that's before any dealership discounts. So
Hmm.
I've actually gone to take a look at the e-tron, sat in it. I've never actually been in it moving, but I think it's quite. I think for 50K, I think that's a lot of car for 50K, and maybe even I would probably possibly pick it over Model Y in a lot of cases.
And there's the Jag I-Pace, of course, as well. There's huge discounts in that, again,
Yes.
around 50K.
Oh yeah.
I've seen them under 50,000 with the tax credit, which is just crazy. But I've seen used ones for sale, and what I found was so alarming. It's like there were some of them with 2,000 miles, and they had 19 service records at the dealer for issues, and there's a ton of lemons for sale. And I
JLR
heard that
don't have the best build quality, like
I've heard that they were making people sign these. I forgot what it was called, but they were making these people sign agreements if they had lemon cars, so they couldn't say anything about it because it was that bad.
Jesus.
Because they don't want the bad press.
Maybe avoid then World Car of the year 2019. I don't know, maybe avoid it. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you should add that to the list. 19 service records coming in at first place.
I think I have to go now, but and my Mac's about to die. So, but I think we got most of them done, and we can edit it out.
We got most, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Should we just summarize? What was our best choice? So for we did everything else.
So our best choice for under 10,000. What do we say it is?
I say Nissan Leaf. Personally,
i3. I gotta go for the i3.
I'm gonna go for the Leaf.
A very early i3. Okay.
I go for a late i3 and a more recent. I'd go for a much more recent Nissan Leaf because I'd be worried about.
You wouldn't get the revised Leaf though. You'd still have you'd be looking at a 2015, 2016.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks the same to anyone else, and it's not exactly
I don't know. I think they made a pretty hefty difference in 2018. Like
100%.
It's a tough one. Personally, I go for a very early 2014 i3, but what's next? So in the next category we were doing, I think
under 20,000,
under 10 to 20K,
yeah. I would say 2017 i3 with a range extender, certified pre-owned.
Okay, and now I'd funnily enough go for a Leaf, a 2018 or newer Leaf Plus. Get the 220.
I was also gonna go for a Leaf again.
Okay. So for under 30
again.
I think it was under. It was 20 under
40.
20 to 40, and it was either a used Model S or a standard range plus Model 3. And then 40 to 100, it was Taycan 4S for me.
Model 3
or
performance for
Taycan,
me.
depending on where you're based. Yeah, it's the Americans. You guys call it the Taycan, and then some people say the Taycan. And, but that out. Yeah. So for under 100K, Taycan 4S is what I go for. But if you need, then there's on the cheaper scale, there's the Audi e-tron around 50K with all the perks.
Yeah.
All the dealership discounts and such. So,
And I think we can all agree that the Candy K23 is the best car ever made. This is not sponsored by Candy in any way. They've never contacted us. I think it's the greatest car ever made, period. It's amazing.
so fun
Yeah,
to drive.
not sponsored by
It's
Candy,
like a
but-
911, like
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
This
Just
message is brought to you
out
by
of the
Candy.
corn.
Yeah.
Yeah. They go and sponsor us.
Be like you for electric with the branding up in the corner.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
I'll
yeah,
buy
So
it
I
off
guess
you.
that's a wrap.
yeah.
Yeah. All
You know
right.
what? I know.